Chat, here we go. It's a best of 7. Moxy and Carming Core Clope. Atto? Clorp? Chat, I don't know what that is. I mean, I read it as Clope, but something tells me that's not how you read it. But either way, it's Moxy versus Atto. We saw Atto recently against Diaz, I believe it was. We forced him to play out on USC servers. Well, we didn't force him, I promise. Again, I do not force anything. Nobody is trapped. No dogs are kept captive at the house. Everyone is free to do whatever they want, including Atto. And he played against Diaz, though. That's tough to play against him in USC. Now he's playing against Moxy. Now, it's tough to say. What do you guys think? Do you think Moxy is currently buffed because of the subathon? Or does he have, like, weights? Is he worse? Is he nerfed? Because he is currently, if you didn't know, playing in a subathon. He's been live for the past, I think, 11 days. Am I just making that number up? I want to say I saw 11 jours? What's the word for day? At least that's on his title. I'm trying to just do it by memory, so really it's a big mistake that I'm even trying at all. But I think he's been doing it for 11 days. And so, in theory, he's just been constantly playing Rocket League 1v1. So maybe it should mean that he's playing better, but I would think at some point it deteriorates. People talk about, having 120 hours past 2 or something, or playing for 8 hours straight. Eventually, your mind deteriorates, you play worse. Well, how about 11 days straight? Are you still getting better, or is it, reached a point where you're now just deteriorating? He does look pretty quick. I tell you what, just moments into this game already, Moxy is looking like he's speeding around the map. And of course, because it is a subathon that isn't over, it means he is live right now. If you want to watch Moxy POV, and if you want to go give him a sub and force him to be live just a little bit longer, which if you're a fan of Rocket League 1v1, you should. You should push him to go a little bit longer. I've been watching Moxy. He had a series, I think yesterday, a couple days ago, against Khaled. Today, he was playing against Nas. I mean, Moxy is there. If any of the top players, Q1s, they're just going to get Moxy. I'm sure it feels like the Moxy game mode for other top 1s players. Instead of 1s, 2s, 3s, it says match versus Moxy, 2s or 3s. Right now, Atto, though, I don't know how much he's been playing 1v1 ranks, but he has agreed to play a nice best of 7 series against Moxy. Moxy, guy who always seems to prefer best of 7s, but something tells me when he's looking to fill air in a 11-day subathon, he would probably even accept a best of 30 if his opponent was willing to do so. Fake from Atto after the backflip challenge. Now he probably has a bump here. I think he was trying to flip through and maybe make contact, but it doubles up as a retreat either way. But if he could have made contact on that flip bump, he might have sent Moxy way out of position. Good read from Atto. Oh, the pinch. Is it? Oh, he needed some ceiling touch. He needed to go ceiling and down. Was it Atto that made... No, it was Toxic. Toxic had just one of the most unbelievable pinches, I think earlier this week or maybe late last week. Even best of 29, yeah, an even number wouldn't make sense. But a best of 29, you probably would play it. Atto up 4-2. Chat pointing out it's time to end submissions. Looks like they did. Chat had a 68% in favor of Moxy in this match against Atto. I would think that that's at least slightly reflective of them, of chats thinking that Moxy might not be playing his absolute best. It also could have been that the prediction was open for a bit as Atto got a lead. But the very beginning of the game actually had Moxy leading, so probably not that either. Atto had the best goal of Copenhagen. Yeah, talking about pinches. Atto tried the sidewall earlier. Toxic had a great sidewall pinch. The best pinch we've seen in RLCS. Is ever a fair take? I'm trying to think of another pinch. Like, the Cookser pinches are the more classic, I would say. But I'm not sure if they meant as much as the Atto pinch did on LAN. I know Cookser had one at Season 6 LAN. but I don't think it had the same importance as Atto's overtime winner in a close match against one of the best teams in the world. And I think that sent them to Game 7 and kept them alive. Toxic post pinch? Yeah, I'm talking about how good it was alongside kind of a bit of the context. Because the toxic post pinch, I mean, if that happened in the same context when Atto scored his, then there's a good argument there. Full field pinch in a Game 6, life on the line situation. Maybe it was Game 6, right? Of their best of 7 against the Falcons. The Fun Buns, thank you for the tier 1 for 18 months. Pog indeed. Atto looking to try and take the early lead in the series. But Moxy picks best of 7 for a reason. He feels good about his adjustments over the course of a long series. So it might not matter. Tries to go for the save off the inside of the post, but he didn't really have the speed to follow it up and then got greedy. Hard to blame him here. If he double jumps to make the save and guarantees that Atto doesn't score again, he also kills his recovery. A double jump to get up means an eon to get back down, and an eon that he does not have, he needs to immediately counter. So just take the risk, hope that it's crossbar and out and not in. And unfortunately, that's not the case. Atto is doing a good job of staying all over the ball and just not allowing Moxy any breathing room to try and bring this one back, and it's enough to actually make him want to end the game. So a forfeit in game number 1. Atto going to go up 1-0 in a best of 7. Game number 2. Atto, high flying and quick play in 1v1 has done enough to suffocate Moxy so far. But Moxy has a way to often force his kind of game. Let's see if he's able to do that in the rest of the series. Atto doesn't have boost, but it doesn't seem to matter as he gets a lot of speed. He actually almost gets too much speed because it leads to him getting a strong touch on the ball out of his control. Moxy has to dial in the flick slightly. He allows Atto to recover in net and get back because the shot was so high and so powerful. No quick follow-up. And Atto will be the first to score. Atto, try to get greedy with a soft save. Wanted to control this in front of his nets and land, get back up and finish it off, and he was close to doing so, but Moxy, he found the gap and ties it right back up. Atto, air dribble bump, connects, but without much purpose as he sped it up and actually had the trajectory of the ball already off target, so the backboard and post, and crossbar did all the saving. Atto too strong in the double attempts. Not a terrible idea to try and double off the back wall to keep the ball out of Moxy's reach the whole way, but just went at it too hard. Never allowed himself an angle to get it on target. Moxy, the big miss in the corner, and he tried to get the backflip to recover from it. It just didn't work out, and of course he's probably going to be upset that I want to watch it back, but allowing Atto one of the easier goals he's going to get in the series. It's almost like he might be drained after all day playing Rocket League for the past 12 days. Oh, nice read on this one, though. Moxy sees Atto challenging early as he goes high and uses the jump quickly to send it right back down to the ground. Actually, even used the flip, which is something you'll not see very often. You know, you see those double jumps or even single jumps to get there quicker, but getting the flip perfect when trying to hit the ball down requires pretty precise movement. Moxy, unafraid to miss there, gets the perfect touch, and now an air dribble bump, and he's in the lead. Moxy has always been able to add an aerial game ever since he's been at the top. I mean, you really can't get away with having a decent amount of aerial control in a top level 1s game. It might have, you know, be on the spectrum that's more grounded, I would say, than maybe some other top 1s players, but doubting him in the air would certainly be a mistake. Atto, he was one of the original guys who keeps ball cam on his dribbles. He does it again. If you've watched a lot of Rocket League, if you try to dribble yourself, you just kind of notice right away how awkward it looks. It almost like makes you sick to your stomach slightly because you're just so unused to having ball cam on and the way the camera warps around the ball. But in this case, it might have even helped him get a better read on what Moxy was doing, and uses that to his advantage to tie this one up. Moxy the fake, right back in the lead. Take off wind to the side wall. An opportunity for Moxy to show off his aerial game. And he goes for the ground double. Even though he couldn't get it on target, he does well to keep Atto from getting any sort of touch on the ball, which means he can now extend the possession out a little bit longer and bring it back to a place where he dominates, which is on the ground there around the net. Shufar, thank you for the tier 1 for 13 months. Just a little over a year. Appreciate that. Long time support. Moxy allowed to get this corner boost as he just was prioritizing keeping control of the ball, just so worked out the brought himself over the 100 right as it spawned. Moxy saves it off the crossbar, and doing so almost allowed him to get a counterattack. But Atto does well to turn back in the field, not get distracted with the boost again. A long time keeping ball cam on during that dribble. He did eventually turn it off after he felt like he had the read. He felt like he was getting slightly thrown off by it. Atto now air dribble reset directly into Moxy. Moxy had good defensive positioning. I was actually really expecting a fake from Atto, because when the defender does well enough, puts themselves in the way of your reset shot, you know, really the best idea is to just not use it, not play into the defense. Atto thought he could get around. Atto looking for the placement. Even though he doesn't get the ball in, he forces Moxy to make an awkward save that pushes him into the net, which means Atto's attack can continue in and out of the net. So Moxy has to save. And with 30 seconds left to go, that save probably does it. Atto had a really long attack, but Moxy able to recognize that the only way Atto was getting through off that back wall there was going to be high. So in and out of the net is the perfect answer. Delay kickoff from Atto, trying to get cheeky here to bring himself within 1. He'll probably have to get cheeky twice, as he at least has himself possession, but I've said it once, I've said it a million times. The most important is boost control, although Moxy doesn't need a lot of boost to punish him here. He has only 29, and he just launches a backflip flick to not allow Atto any chance to get back. Atto one for the road. He will drop this down underneath this time. Makes the read on the in and out save from Moxy and places the ball low. Atto has the right idea if he wanted to, you know, get goals as quickly as possible. Just doesn't matter. Even cutting in field won't be fast enough to get the goal and have one more chance. So game number 2, we'll go to Moxy. Game number 3. Moxy able to tie the series back up. Moxy, relentless on 0 boost. I mean, there was a moment there where it seemed like Atto was going to for sure get a clean possession and a takeaway, probably an air dribble and a goal. But Moxy just dashing around like a maniac, making it work with 0 boost, and all that mattered was breaking it up at all to buy himself time, and that's what he did. And now he's kept the score equalized here early. A good clean zap dash on the way back to the corner. Moxy dunked. Waits to use his flip as long as possible, or his jump and his flip, so that he can both clear the ball and dash himself onto the back wall in one fell swoop. Now backing off this ball is his fake. Wasn't as good as it needed to be. Now has to protect against an Atto dive. We saw the previous match, not the best of protections, but Moxy, he did a good job. Atto didn't want to fully commit either there on the goal line. And then a bump works to both put Atto off the ball and start his counterattack. As Moxy gets the first goal. Atto long shots after he is able to outpace Moxy on the demo attempts. Chat is currently arguing about the rank of various people trying to analyze the game. I actually don't think it really matters that much. I obviously made the joke. If you were to say, I mean, to an extent, what I've learned watching a lot of high-level ones is when I was Grand Champ. When I was Grand Champ and I started to analyze the games, I remember thinking, because I'm Grand Champ, like, I have some level above maybe the average player when it comes to understanding these. And that's probably true to a certain extent. I can tell that now, you know, almost all of my analytical abilities on these ones games comes from having watched a million of them and not having played. So I would quicker, as Moxy launches a flick over the top of Atto, I would quicker accept the analysis of someone who told me, I've watched 6,000 high-level ones matches, over somebody who, you know, said they are X rank, but they've only watched a couple. Don't forget there are some high-level coaches that are like Diamond 3 to Grand Champ. Yeah, I think it's just about hours in analysis, basically, or hours watch. Oh no. It's also like hours in own goaling. Like Atto, he just has more hours in own goaling than anybody else. So you're just not going to be able to own goal at his level, okay? He just is a level above. Ooh, Moxy, what a shot. Yeah, even Atto has to give him the nice one here. Look at this setup. Atto, oh my god, it's a Moxy. He pops the ball out, in the process wave dashing onto the corner, getting a ton of speed off the edge, and then instantly flipping to the ball with like pixel perfect placement to just send it booming across the whole field. Atto can do nothing but compliment the shot. You've been Grand Champ, but Johnny Boy already top 1 in the world. What a legend. His analysis, all the replays. GG's Johnny McDonald. Yeah, did you guys see? I think that's at least a slight reference to Johnny. It was John. It was John McDonald. It was rank 1. Was it yesterday? A couple days ago? Can't believe that for some reason that account is gone now. When I know my GOAT, John McDonald, can get rank 1 clean. Atto, this is what he's been doing well. Staying on ball at every moment, not allowing Moxy to go in and out of the net. It's going to be tough to control the ball from that position. Atto reset Moxy off the ceiling. The wave dash shot is exactly what the doctor ordered. as it puts the ball on a perfect arc right over the top of where Moxy can get to. On my ping, because I'm US West, my connection to EU shows Moxy going deep into the ground before he jumps back up. And even though, that's not what actually happened, it almost feels that way when you land. Like you want to revert your momentum so much that it almost feels like the ground holds on to you there a bit. Atto quickly to the air after dodging the demo. Knows Moxy's going to be on the retreat, and he wants him to play defense as soon as possible. Wait, Moxy just helped him. Well, you could tell Atto is like, he's trying to calculate, wait, how can I get a flip towards the ball? I can't quite do it. I have to rotate around. Moxy says, dude, don't worry, man. I got you. I'll just slam you into the ball. Maybe your flip can't get you there, but anything is possible when I just boom you into the ball. Atto clean steal. And now a lead, surely, right? No, he missed the open net and he wasn't able to get back to it. Moxy demos him. And so it's a tie game, and with under a minute left to go, that was actually a huge momentum swing. Atto able to force Moxy into net, though, so a great position. And he will just put the ball high, force what I think he was hoping was going to be a double jump out of Moxy, but Moxy actually able to get it with a flip, and now a save off the backboard and a really clean save. Atto, though, fully starved him out, so doesn't have to worry about the shot attempt. Moxy couldn't get back to the ball. What is his first touch from Atto? It's not great, but he turns it into something more than what I thought he was going to be able to get away with, as I thought he was just going to lose possession into the corner. Now still has control and still has Moxy starved out. Oh, the placement. It's perfect. It's precision at its finest. Moxy has 57 boosts to work with, but it got put right on the crossbar and down and in, directly behind where he could get to. Now 15 seconds. Moxy needs a kickoff win, goes to his wave dash kickoff, and own goals. He wanted to get a touch across the net. He couldn't really afford to just save it and have it not be immediately his possession. So he tried to wave dash, get it right across, maybe just a little bit of speed off being able to do that. Instead, it will be Atto, almost assuredly, in game number 3. Moxy gave it one last go, needed to win the kickoff. Well, maybe he didn't need to win it directly into the net. I think to give himself a reasonable chance, he did, but now he's got 1 second and a dream. And what will he do with his dream? I feel like you have to just delay here, don't you? Yeah, I mean, Moxy didn't and he loses, but it just, maybe I guess you could win it really strong like he tried to. But I think you just delay and you just hope that they let you chip it up. First time chatter in chat says, you are very good, man. And I couldn't agree more. I know you're talking about me and my commentating and streaming abilities, and certainly it's not that you think that I'm the player on screen. Did I accidentally say decibel instead of decimal? Well, I have to double down, even though I obviously meant to say decimal. Atto with the nothing flick. I think often called the turbo flick. Moxy loves the attack and follow-up demo. Certainly uses it more than anybody else in the one's world. Atto chain dashing and getting a defensive demo. He got himself a ton of space. One of the downsides, though, is he does rotate his defender for him. He says, hey, get out of here and go back to your own half. But it looks like that wasn't an issue for Atto, as the hook shot just has the power and placement it needs to make sure Moxy doesn't stand a chance. Didn't Feer just beat Moxy? Wait, that's actually a really good comm. Wait, that chatter's got good comms. You guys remember when I beat Moxy, right? We played a match. I went up 1-0. He forfeited. That's how I remember it. Again, Moxy. He seeks the demos on the follow-ups. He locks into your car and took Atto out here on the corner. Is the update live? The updates usually go out at like 4 p.m. my time, which is 7 Eastern. 4 p.m. I assume San Diego time, where Psyonix is. You scored. Moxy said GG and you left match. Wait, chat, when someone forfeits, you leave. Right? I mean, that's not... If someone says GG and then the game is over, they forfeit, so you just leave. It's not my fault. Moxy, you know, maybe could have come back from the 1-0 deficit. I guess we'll never know. But I got the win. Is the update a setting? I'm assuming it's going to go permanent. Not a setting. Always on. Plus, if it is a setting, you have to turn it on. It's just helpful information. Moxy, his flick. Getting his flick going here against Atto. Moxy having to cut around the ball to get a possession, but if you have to take it all the way to your back wall, it is really tough to deal with the opponent. Atto wanted to get a strong touch. He recognized Moxy was not there, but ultimately the touch he got was not it. Moxy's going to pin this into the crossbar. He's having a great game 4. Moxy is bouncing back, keeping the series as tight as possible. I don't understand why people want to turn it off. It's just something new. They're talking about the boost indicators that will be added. If you're watching it back on YouTube, you've probably already played a game or two, or seen a game played or two with them on. And I'm assuming that I'll get them as well here in show matches. I think we'll probably just see them on everybody's nameplate. Moxy booming this one out of his own half. A rarity to just give Atto control, you know, for very little. He usually tries to keep it as best he can, and, you know, here's the reason why. You don't want to have to try and attack an Atto with possession in space, which he allowed him to have by booming it away, but sometimes you can feel forced to. I think he was trying to make sure he evaded Atto's demo attempts. Recovery. Oh, Moxy needs to get around this. He's got 0 boost. He should be able to. But very clear possession plays now that Moxy has a considerable lead. He wants to get the ball on top of his car, get a carry, and attack a shadowing defender. This situation happens a ton in top ones, but all the time in ranked ones. And that's where Maxi what? That's where Moxy is playing, you know, most of his 1v1 games and practicing most of his 1v1. So I think he feels really comfortable whenever he's able to get a clean carry with space. I couldn't even tell you. Maxi doesn't combine Atto's name. It just every once in a while you just say Maxi, I guess. All right, Atto's had enough. He's gonna give Moxy this one. Minute 30 left to go, but a considerable lead and a tied series between these two. It is most chalked if he has a carry and space. But yeah, I think chat's probably right. I think Diaz is probably a bit more of an all-around offensive threat. Game 5, not the final game. It's important to point out, as these guys did agree to best of 7. Wait, Moxy. Oh, he didn't get a goal off of it, but he just chipped this around Atto, and Atto's actually going to be the one that ended up getting a goal. I wanted to go back enough to see the kickoff. I don't think Atto was faking it or anything, but maybe just taking his time to get around goal side of the ball. Moxy sees his opportunity to be even quicker and just chip it around him. Not often do you see that being able to be done against a pro player on the other side. Chat's going to be discussing we might have cut it out in the middle of the match, or in the middle of the scoreboard screen. But who has the most offensive, what was the phrasing? Lethal offense. Lethal offensive 1v1. Chat seems to be mostly in agreement that it's Diaz. The original chatter trying to point out that it's Moxy as he gets a nice save. I do think that I'll give Moxy the ground attack. And I think that anybody who plays ones as much as Moxy does has no choice but to become, you know, a primary grounded player. I think it's the right way to play ones ranked. I think it's the right way to secure wins against players that are, you know, much worse than you. And that's kind of what Moxy does a lot. He just gave himself a great pass as he gave Atto the ball. But with how many games he plays in ranked, it just naturally, his style is going to lean that way, and he's not going to be able to just fully switch it every time he gets into a show match or, you know, even tournament play. As Atto is going to make it 3-1. Whereas a guy like Atto, who I think doesn't play as much ranked ones, can basically play in a more show match or a series style, tournament style at all times. Atto slowly working his way to the net here. Good bounce back after the forfeit in game 4. Pushing out to a 3-goal lead. Nas is just such a all-around great ones player. He has really great defense. Would you say he has the best? No, I guess you'd say Rawas. You know, he's a really strong offensive player. Would you say he has the best? Maybe Diaz, though. But the thing is, you know, Nas may still be the best 1v1er. You don't have to have an extreme, you know, traits to necessarily be the best. Yeah, this guy says Moxy's not really an offensive player. I think that's kind of true. I think, you know, he isn't nearly as offensive as a guy like Diaz. Moxy letting this bounce clean. Trying to see if he can get Atto into an awkward carry and just put that ball on Atto. I mean, there are parts of the net that maybe scores. Put it so far back in the direction of Atto, but either way, the quick follow-up. You're sleeping on Nupo? That's true. I feel like I haven't just seen Nupo play much in ones recently. Diaz has played a lot recently, so he's fresh on the mind. Nupo is, of course, an incredible offensive ones player. Moxy, little backflip flick. Yeah, you just can't, on a consistent level or over the course of a long series, if you let Moxy get to this spot, he just wins. you can't. It's like what I was talking about Diaz. Nas and Diaz are playing, or just Diaz against anybody. If you back off and you let Diaz get into his air dribble, you just won't win. You have to find a way to somehow stop him from getting to it consistently, or make him think twice about it. Because there is no beating him at the game where he gets to set it up and you just have to react. It's the same way for Moxy on the ground. You just won't win if he finds a way to get carries consistently. He'll just beat you. Very rarely. I mean, Rawas, the best defender ever, you know, on the goal line against probably even Moxy, you know, even he had a historical tough time until very recently figuring him out. Atto headed to the ceiling, and he'll go down to the catch this time and cut it in. Atto recognize. Oh wait, what a fake! What a fake! Moxy wants to go next, but unfortunately I am gonna make him watch this again. Atto goes around the ball, makes it look like he's going to a sidewall air dribble, and Moxy single jump wave dashes in that direction and just gets caught out. Now Atto gets to walk it in with like no boost at all, the slowest possible walk in, but a great fake. And it's a game-winning fake. Moxy has had enough. Atto on the verge of a series win. Game number 6. Moxy trying to force this to game 7, trying to prove why he wanted 7 games instead of 5, because Atto would have won the 5. So he tries to go for a pretty aggressive double. But Chad, I have a question for you. A question that I just thought about. You know, we like to chat ball here. If you were to give an MVP out, not just for the major, as we all know, Juicy was the MVP of the major. Well deserved. And that award is very often given out to the player who played best on the final day, which I think is how Juicy got it. If I were to ask you who the MVP of the entire split was, what would you say? Vatira, Killiers, Vatira, Atto, Joyo, Atto, Vatira, Seiko, Beast Mode, Jnaps. A lot of these are good. I don't know if you guys saw, but there's going to be the RL Pro Awards again. So this is going to be one of the categories they have. I was asked to nominate players. I'm trying to remember who I nominated. But I do think one of them was Atto, which is, of course, why I'm bringing it up. I think, obviously, I think if you're going to give MVP to somebody for the season, it's probably going to be somebody whose team won every single regional. You could argue a Falcon did that. You could argue KC did that. Plus a good performance at the major, which KC had a slightly better performance at the major than the Falcons. You could argue that the Gentlemates did enough, despite being 4 in EU. The fact that they went undefeated at the major, one of their players still deserves split MVP. I think I'd give it to Itachi because of his performance mostly at the major. I couldn't say necessarily about the rest of the regionals. But I think giving KC a KC player MVP for the full split wouldn't be ridiculous. So I do think I had Atto on the list of nominees. I think if you're going to give a North American player, it's probably someone from G2, having won 2 out of the 3 regionals there. But I do think the fact that a team went, an EU team won the major and an EU team also dominated all regionals, the real MVP probably comes from a major, unless you feel like there's someone who is carrying their team so hard in another region that they deserve it. Nice demo. Atto hitting Moxy. Oh no, he needs to get this on target, and that's a terrible bounce. There's a lot of different ways he could have done that, but the way to not score is to put it on the back wall, or specifically on that curve that bounces it up and makes it unplayable. I mean, you could take a second and not hit it to the back wall, I think, and just put it on target, and you've been okay. You could also put it on the back wall and make sure it doesn't hit that one spot that sends it high. But Atto maybe just trying to play for the script right now and give a game 7. Moxy up 4-1. Atto, strong first touch. He sees Moxy setting up a net, fully retreating. He puts a lot of power on this so that Moxy doesn't have a chance to reset his defensive positioning at all. He sees him heading to the back corner boost, and he says, I want you to have to play across the net after you grab that boost to make the save. In order to do so, I need to speed back up and make sure I can get my hook shot at the right time. And then it makes it really, really tough for Moxy, who has no angle towards the ball, to just try and snipe the save on a hook shot. Atto looking to try and get a clean touch here, and actually did. I would say he did. Moxy, of course, bumped him, but he wants to stay in possession. And because Moxy did not either demo him or clear him far enough out of the play, it's obviously a win for Atto. He's able to follow up for a goal. Yeah, I do think it probably makes more sense to give maybe a major MVP and then a per region MVP. I think technically this award that is being given out is like a full split, but not just major MVP, which is pretty tough, I would say. It's obviously easier on each person, or it's easier on your analysis if you just go each region and then maybe overall, because even if you have each region, then the overall you're gonna weigh the major heavily, and you probably just give it to whoever played best over the major. Either Itachi, Juicy, Seiko, one of the winners. Again, unless you feel that one team was being carried so heavily by someone that didn't win, which I don't think there's any of those in the top 4 or 8 even. Moxy, as we approach the final minute in Game 6, needs this game win to keep the series going. The odds were probably stacked against him. Sure, he's played a bit more ones maybe than Atto, air dribble bump. But, as we stated a million times before, he is not only just at the end of a very long day today, but he's played 11 days straight on stream. It's got to be a bit tiring. But I'm sure he doesn't want to have to make excuses. He just wants to get the win. And he has himself tied up with 50 seconds left to go. Atto avoids the bump in the corner. Moxy is able to recover back down to the ground in time, and Atto doesn't avoid the bump this time. Gets taken off the map. Moxy too strong of a touch. He just fixes it. He just fixes it again. He says, no problem. I'll just lock it on your car and delete you again. Round 2, we talked about this position and how you do not let Moxy get to it. And Moxy earned it. And that's probably a reason why he loves demos so much. He wants a little bit of space. He wants to get to his carry, and he wants to flick it past you and into your net. And that's exactly what he did. And now has 23 seconds to hold on to his lead. A delay wave dash kickoff for Atto. Moxy taps it around him and secures the win, pretty much. Don't necessarily blame Atto for getting a bit optimistic on that challenge in the corner. He needed something. I don't think he needed it as quickly as maybe that challenge in the corner. He still had 20 or so seconds, but didn't connect. And so it will be Moxy forcing Game 7 as he tries to psycho on his own nets. And he's going to need an incredible redirect from Atto to make it happen. Game 7, Moxy versus Atto going the distance as these guys go back and forth. We had a Game 5 and now a Game 7. A perfect day for 1v1 apparently. As Atto is going to look to try and keep the trend alive, which I think has been Atto and Moxy trading wins back and forth. If that were to continue, then you have your series winner here, Atto, and oh, look at him go. The dash on the wall to catch back up to this play and get the dish right on that curve. I'm going to follow up to pin it underneath the roof of the net, not allow Moxy any chance on the ball. Moxy with space. He wants to cut this infield and he wants to carry it. And so Atto's sticking around and saying, go up the side wall or else. If you go up the side wall and turn it into an air dribble, I might leave. But I'm not going to allow you to cut it on the ground and carry it on the ground. Moxy has found a way to get to that position either way, though. But he needed to get a couple strong touches to get underneath the ball. And that pushed him too close to Atto, so it was not his ideal position to be in. Atto stealing the ball away, making it a 2-goal lead. Delay kickoff from Atto. Wave dash hug as well. Atto going to be able to tap it away. And Moxy, if he isn't back in his familiar position, fake challenge from Atto. Got Moxy to flick early. Moxy keeping a good eye on what he's dealing with here with Atto. He's able to guide that into the crossbar. Atto almost put up enough power that it didn't matter. He get the reset? Oh, he did. Wait, he confused me. It seemed like maybe he was rolling back to get it again. And I don't know if that confused Moxy at all. But for a moment there, he turned his car back underneath it and started boosting, almost as if he was going to go try and get the reset like he didn't have it. But then ended up carrying and using the flip anyways. Which, I mean, if Atto, I could just be reading it wrong. That's how I read it naturally in the moment. But if he was trying to fake like he didn't get the reset, go back, get another one, and then use the flip, there's never been a more relevant time to talk about the flip reset indicator that people have been talking about. Like, that would not be possible if Moxy knew for sure Atto had it. Atto has figured out Moxy defensively here. Moxy couldn't get the angle on the close to net flick. And now Atto trying to get some speed on the ball to get it out. He will rise to meet it in the air. Reset goes low, actually plays it into Moxy. And now Atto low on boost. He cuts it off early, and this might pay off by giving him a chance to go grab boost. I actually thought he was going to shoot there, but no, he was just going to grab boost. Moxy wants the carry. Atto needs to close that distance, not allow him to do it. Did a decent enough job. Moxy had to hesitate there and not catch the ball because he needed to keep it lower or needed to stay back in order to be able to 50 if a challenge did show up. It was only after he knew for sure the challenge wasn't coming that he got the carry going, and by then it was too late. So you see Atto just by all costs not allowing a dribble setup with space for Moxy. Ooh, Moxy faked here. Try to get out ahead. Atto, another close shadow. Moxy, the bouncing catch, and he will counter. So this is a good play. Atto again, shadowing closely. Doesn't allow Moxy to get a clean catch, but he just basically punishes Atto for shadowing that close. You shouldn't be able to get away with that under any circumstance, or under every circumstance, but Atto has been getting away with it because he knows how bad Moxy wants to catch it. Ooh, great angle. Moxy was not thinking he needed to protect the net here as Atto steals the boost and just gets up and slots it directly in the center of the net. A minute 40. Wave dash kickoff for Atto. Can't connect on the demo. Very low boost. I expect to see him returning to the play here quickly. Moxy preventing Atto from taking the ball away. This is definitely a moment in which you almost don't want to play into Atto's hands by taking the ball into the air and not going to your preferred attack. Moxy's dribble, that is. But Atto has almost said, I'm giving you no other choice. You will either beat me in the air or you will not beat me. And right now, the answer is that Moxy will not beat him. Undercutting Atto. 17 boosts to work with, and on the wrong side of the ball means a clean catch is probably not possible. They bumped it towards the back wall. And again, they're going to find themselves ramming into each other with the ball pinching away. And all of this is in favor of Atto. He's wasting a ton of time here. Moxy not going to be able to protect it all the way to the ground. And this is where Diaz and his ability to attack in the air is so useful, as he would just carry that the whole field and somehow score it, which is not easy. It's not easy, but it's what Moxy basically had to do. Atto did a great job. Thanks for playing. GG's. Shout out Atto. I mean, he made a read on what Moxy wanted, and it seemed like maybe... Oh, wait, Pogo? Is he still here? No! No, I bet Attow's good at it. Chat, I failed you. Because I bet Atto has a great pogo for us. Oh, he's back! He's back! And he's on Moxy's team. He's scoring for Moxy. Look at that. It counts. Oh, he's going for it again. Oh, he's getting greedy. The double pogo. Because, of course, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, this combo is still going. Double pogo? Let's go. GG's. Thanks, Atto. Shout out, Atto. The return and the pogo. The double pogo. Tony Hawk Pro Skater combo rules. And he even scored it on his own net despite playing on Moxy's team. GG's. Thank you to Moxy. Thank you to Atto.